Hello everyone, my name is Akif Nawaz, and in today's class we're going to talk about one of the prominent writers of English literature, that is John Milton. So in this video you will get to know everything that you need to know. So along with that, we have started our journey to explore the history of English literature. So if you find any difficulty in any of the ages, then you can consult those videos, and the links you will find here in the description as well. So let's move on to talk about John Milton. So first of all, he was born on December 9, 1608 in London, England. Along with that, he was educated from St. Paul's Schools and later Christ's College, Cambridge. So that was about his birth and early life. Now, his life was totally under the influence of Puritanism. So Puritans basically is a school of thought which believe in strict Protestant religious reformers, and along with that, Milton's work often reflect his religious beliefs and the political leanings, particularly during the English Civil War. So we'll get to know about the English Civil War in the coming slide. So let's move on to his political involvement. So first of all, he used to support parliamentarians. Parliamentarians were also called as Roundheads. That was during the Civil War, and which lasted up to 9 years from 1642 to 1651. And in this war, two groups were against each other. The first one were Republicans, means parliamentarians. The other ones were the supporter of the king. Now, along with that, he served as the Secretary of Foreign Tongues under Oliver Cromwell's government, writing political pamphlets in the defense of the Commonwealth. Now, what is Commonwealth? Commonwealth basically is the Republican government of England, Scotland, and Ireland, established after King Charles I's execution and led primarily by Oliver Cromwell. So I hope you would have got the idea about the parliamentarians, the English Civil Wars, then his services towards the government. Now, that was about things in general about John Milton. Now let's move on to some of the major works that he had written. So let's talk about his major works. He wrote Paradise Lost in 1665. It's an epic poem written in 12 books. It narrates the fall of man, the temptation of Adam and Eve by Satan, and the expulsion from the Garden of Eden. It is widely considered as his masterpiece. So Paradise Lost is the most important work of not only John Milton, but along with that of the overall literature. And the next thing is he wrote Paradise Regained back in 1671. So you can compare it like this, the way Allama Muhammad Iqbal wrote Shikwa and Jawabi Shikwa. So Paradise Lost and then Paradise Regained was written in response to Paradise Lost. So this Regained is a shorter sequel to Paradise Lost. It focuses on Christ's temptation in the wilderness and his ultimate triumph over Satan. So both of them are really important works, in which there is one more thing, that is Samson Agonistes. It's a closet drama, tragic closet drama. Tragic closet drama is something that is written for the sake of reading, not for the sake of presentation on the stage. And it draws on the biblical story of Samson, emphasizing themes of faith, suffering, and redemption. So we need to know that Paradise Regained and Samson Agonistes both were published on the same date, and that is in the same year 1671. And this Samson Agonistes is one of the closet dramas that he written in Paradise Regained. Okay, so that was about his works in general. Now let's move on to his political and religious pamphlets. So the first one is Areopagitica, that he wrote in 1644. It's a prose work defending freedom of speech and the press, considered a landmark in the development of liberal thought. He was against a dictator that was one of the kings of England, and he was in the favor of parliamentarians. So he wrote this pamphlet in order to defend freedom of speech and the press. The next one is the tenure of kings and magistrates in 1649. So in this work he justifies the execution of King Charles I and the idea that rulers can be overthrown if they act tyrannically. So it means that he justified the notion that the execution of King Charles I was not something very bad, but rulers must be overthrown if they behave like dictators. The next one is Iconoclastus, that he wrote in 1649. Now the name is really difficult, so keep this in mind. It's a response to the loyalist work, Icon Basilic, defending the Commonwealth and criticizing monarchy. So in this work, he criticized those who were on the favor of the king, who were considered as royalist, in which this Icon Basilic was the prominent figure. So this was written in order to criticize the royalist and in favor of the republic or the Commonwealth. The next one is of Reformation, written in 1641, in which he criticized the Church of England. So all his political pamphlets and religious pamphlets were written and published in between the era of the Civil War from 1642 to 1651. Now, his life in general, about his blindness and his writing style, so we can say that Milton became completely blind by 1652 due to glaucoma, and this is a kind of disease that because of which he lost his eyesight. Despite this, he continued to write, dictating his later works to his daughters and assistants. So his assistants and daughters definitely helped him out in order to write more. Now let's move on to talk about his writing style. He's known for his complex language, the use of blank verse, the dense allusions to classical mythology and the Bible. So these were some of the aspects of his use of language. His works often explore themes of obedience, free will, and the nature of good and evil. So these are the themes which he was really into, like the theme of obedience, free will, and the notion between good and evil. Now, about his legacy and death, Milton's influence is vast, shaping not just English literature but also political thought. His works remain central to discussion of epic poetry, religion, and liberty. So he not only influenced English literature, but also he contributed a lot in politics, because he fought for the freedom of speech, freedom of press, and he was against dictators. Now, a central thing of his epic poetry and this religion and liberty stuff. Now, about his death, he died on November 8, 1674 in London, leaving behind a legacy of some of the most important works in the English canon. So that was all about John Milton. So in this video, we talked about what John Milton did. Along with that, we discussed some of his major works, his legacy, and his political and religious contribution to the world of literature and to the world of politics in general. So that's all from my side. We'll see you in the next one. And if you learn something extra and if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and like. And the most important thing is both of them are absolutely free. So just have a click on them. Thank you so much. See you in the next one. Allah Hafiz.